Okay, I thought I'd do a video on, this is all the parts in the last 2 days I've taken off of jobs, or I put new locks on and there's extra parts, and I just thought I'd do a video of what I do with them. So what I have on the van, this is a kitty litter bucket, and I just throw all, when I take off a lock and I replace it, I throw all my scrap locks in there, and then after a couple days I go through them and I decide what I'm going to keep to use for parts and what I'm gonna discard. So pretty much what I got here, these are some smart lock cylinders off of deadbolts. So I got 3 of those there. I'm gonna keep those. Those are good. What happened was I was on a rekey job and I replaced the deadbolts with ones that weren't smart locks and with Slage in order to match what they already had. Then I replaced the front door on someone's Baldwin, and this is a good tailpiece to keep because they do break, so that'll be something I'll keep. I put a couple commercial levers on the job, and they had the shorter latches in, the 2 3/8 latches, so those are brand new. So those will go in my parts bins. And then when I replace the commercial lever locks, normally the stainless steel strikes on the doors are good. So this is one I did today, and then I had a couple other ones I did. So those are all brand new strikes that I replaced, new hardware. These are the screws in the last 2 days off of all the locks I took. What's really neat is once you throw them in the bucket and you take all the parts out, it's easy to take the screws out. So I do save all the screws because they're a lifesaver if you have the right screw that you need. So I'll organize those later. These are just different latches that were halfway decent. You know, a used latch on your van could save your butt if you're on a job. Got the ones from the Smart Slage, or I mean, sorry, Quick Sets. This one's from the Smart Key deadbolts. They're nice, nice latches. That they were almost brand new. Those Smart Key deadbolts that I replaced. Those are the collars. I'll be throwing those out. I don't really have a use for those. The little thumb turn on those deadbolts have this real small set screw in here. And that set screw, a lot of times I'll get to a job and they'll be missing that set screw. Or it'll never be put in. They'll use a little tiny plastic stub that the packaging came with, and that's all that's holding it on. So those set screws are worth having. So I'll be saving both of those just for the set screw. That's a real good Slage back set. Those break all the time, so that's a good one to keep. I did replace a Baldwin, and this is the clutch pack assembly for the thumb on the outside. These are real good to have because they go bad all the time. And that lock, I was just replacing it because it was tarnished, so that I saved that part off of it. So that's a good piece to have. These are all of the strike plates on new locks I put on. That, you know how they come with more than you need, strike plates. So I'll go through those. Some of them I'll throw out, some of them I'll save. There's a couple of Quick Sets, brand new sets of keys. I'll definitely save those because it'll give me options to rekey people's locks too. Here's a couple of Lagarde swing bolts for safe locks that I drilled out, and I will save the circuit boards out of them, even though I don't know the COM on them, because I could reset the circuit boards, and I'll do another video on how to do that. So those are kind of neat, you know, to save. Nice part to save. In case you have a bad swing bolt, you can put that circuit board into the bad one. This is a older style Lagarde safe keypad that I drilled out, and even though the keypad's worn, it was still a good working keypad. They just didn't know the COM. So I'm gonna cut this wire and I'm gonna put alligator clips on and make me an emergency dial for if I ever get one that someone tried to break in and destroy the dial, I could clip it right on. And there's a Slage handle. I'll be taking that cylinder out of there just to keep it in case I had one I had to drill out or replace. That's a good cylinder to keep. These are off the lever handles. I saved these. These are the spring mechanisms that retract the handle. That looks like a LSDA. You could tell by the shape of it. And this one looks like a US lock. It's hard to tell because all the Chinese ones are real similar. But I'll save both of those. Anyways, so this is my haul. Thought I'd just do a video on the parts I take off of jobs. And I'll put these parts and I'll stock them down in my bins. I have them all organized under there in the van. The van's a little disaster right now, but yeah, I thought I'd do a video on the parts that I take off of my jobs, because I get a lot of parts. And when you're a locksmith, to have the right part on your van, it could save you the whole day. If you don't have, let's say you didn't have this quick set latch and you had to go, which you should have about 100 of these, but let's say you didn't have this latch and you had to go back to the shop to get it or schedule a new appointment. Well, it just cost you money because you didn't have this on your van. So even if you have a used one that looks new, what you do is you clean it up, oil it, you'll call it reconditioned, which basically it is, and you give them a discounted price on it, say it's $13 instead of $15 on the bill, and put it in. The customer's happy, you're happy, you get done with the job. So anyways, that's I think this is probably a day and a half worth of parts. This is a Yale ball lock, and it does have an ASA cylinder in it. The ASA cylinder quit working. I'm not sure why, but I'm going to tear this thing apart to try to see if I can save that cylinder, because that's a $100 cylinder in there. And if it's any good, which it probably is, it might just have a stuck pin or a stuck sidebar or something. I replaced it with a lever handle with a new ASA cylinder. And but anyways, that's the haul of the day. And I'll do some more videos on the different parts I take off of the jobs. This is Steve from Steve's Locksmith Shop, signing off.